Hey there, we are live from Midtown Comics. I am Henry. It is Monday. Happy Monday to you. It's, of course, time for another installment in Midtown's Marvel Mondays, where we go through and we talk about all the different Marvel Legacy books that have hit stands in the last week. And this week is a very cool week. It's a fifth week, so it might seem like a smaller amount. It is a bit, smaller. We do actually have one book that is completely sold out this week, but we're going to talk about it anyways, and it's a lot of cool stuff. So we're going to get started right off the bat. We're going to talk about America issue number 9 from Gabby Rivera. And we've got Flaviano on art here. So we've got an artistic fill-in and really some cool stuff. So this is part 2 of the Exterminatrix storyline. Began last issue. Of course, things were looking dire for America. And it doesn't look too great to start off either. It looks great. The art's really good. Flaviano is a really good artist. But America is shackled. It looks like she's having a rough time, but, it is her name on the book, so things do kind of believe to turn in her favor quite nicely. But it's a really cool book. If you guys have been reading America, you know that there's a lot of really great stuff, a lot of really cool characters. We've got America, we've got Prodigy. I love Prodigy because I used to love New X-Men and all that stuff back, goodness, that was like 15 years ago now. But some really cool stuff here, and I'm really enjoying the series. Gabrielle Rivera's got a really great grasp on America, and I think in this issue she really picks up the action appropriately as we get to see the Exterminatrix in action, facing off a bit more, and I really like it. Flaviano's art is really cool. At times can actually remind me a lot of Babs Tarr, which I say is a high compliment because I love Babs Tarr's art. Flaviano is very talented as well. And overall, if you're a fan of America, this is another rock solid issue. Really cool, really accessible as well because they just do the little recap at the beginning. But great book. So we're off to a good start. Then our second book of the week is one of my favorite comics Marvel's been putting out. U.S.Avengers, issue number 12, with the little corner box with Red Hulk and his surly little mustache. Ali Ewing's been on this book since the beginning. Paco Diaz on art here. And we get to see the follow-up and a bit of an explanation for what's going on in this Cannonball Run storyline, because we've seen things get a little weird because it's a giant planet that's like the 1950s just threw up all over the place. It's kind of crazy, really fun. And we get to find out in this issue that it actually does tie in with the Skrulls. And that makes me really happy because I'm a big Skrull fan. I really like lots of different Skrull stories over the years. And it actually ties in with some of the stuff we saw in Secret Invasion. And I think that's really great stuff to reference. Really cool because it feels like a natural part of Marvel continuity. It feels like we're picking up some dangling threads, which I do really like. Bugface Brown is a lot of fun in this issue. That's a sentence I didn't think I would be saying. Richie Redwood, of course, a great foe, but I really like it. You know what? It's fun to me. It's kind of like you take the Skrulls, you take the Truman Show, the Jim Carrey movie, you combine them, you swirl them together, maybe add a dash of Stepford Wives, and you get Cannonball Run. And I think that's kind of amazing. That's really cool stuff. Ali Wing's having a lot of fun. And it does leave us with quite a great teaser for No Surrender, which will be starting next month, of course, involving all of the different Avengers franchises, including U.S. Avengers. That'll be in the pages of Avengers proper, not in here, but in actual Avengers 675. So very excited to see what No Surrender has to offer just beyond the horizon. Now, one of the cool Marvel Legacy books that they brought back for one shot, Darkhawk, issue number 51. Now that's awesome. This is Darkhawk, and Darkhawk has not had a book in quite some while. David Nakayama cover here is really cool. And we got Chad Bowers, Chris Sims, and Kev Walker on art. And I'm a big Kev Walker fan. I really liked a lot of his work. He's done some great books over the years. He's done some cool stuff with the Thunderbolts. He did Avengers Arena, which I loved Avengers Arena because it was really cool. And had Darkhawk in it, so of course that they make some reference to it. And I think this is really great as an exploration of what's he been up to. Avengers Arena did end. There was Avengers Arena, then Avengers Undercover, and that ended a couple of years ago. So Darkhawk's kind of been MIA almost, and here we get to see an explanation on what he's been doing, and I really like it. It's a good one-shot issue. It's really cool. Kev Walker's art is friggin' awesome, man. Like, he really, really is great for the character of Darkhawk, and I'm really hoping that people respond well to this book because I want to see more Darkhawk. We do get a bit of a tease as to where we can next expect to see him. Of course, you know, he's facing off against the fraternity of Raptors, who, if you guys have been reading Guardians of the Galaxy, it seems like a natural fit. And it really is cool to see just Darkhawk in a book, and it's a good book, and it's fun, and it's got really good action, and I really would love to see this creative team on an ongoing series. Maybe I'm a bit greedy. At least a mini series for these characters because it's really great. So please pick this up. It's one shot. That's it. You just need to buy the one, and it's a full story, totally worthwhile. Please pick it up. Now, another book from this week that I really love is Darkhawk, other cover. Whoops. Love that cover, actually. Trading card cover. Got cool stats. Another book I loved was Moon Knight. So Moon Knight issue 189, Crazy Runs in the Family is the name of the game. Max Bemis and Jason Burrows on art. And dude, there's some weird stuff in this book, man. And I can't really tell you all about it because it's actually in the reading. When you read it, there's some really cool stuff here. Jason Burrows does some incredible art, but I do want to actually give a shout out to Corey Petit, who does the lettering on this, who, you know, the thing is with being a letterer, you know, letterers never get noticed. That's kind of the whole point. If you're paying too much attention to the lettering, that means that it's distracting you. But here, it's actually just really cool and does a great job of distinguishing the inner voice of Khonshu inside of Mark Spector. So you'll see every time there's one of these black text boxes that's Khonshu talking. And it's really cool. Really great art here. I don't want to spoil too much because this storyline is building up to a new arch foe for Moon Knight. And I think that's a really natural place to take the character because he's had so much happen over the years. And here you can see a new villain we're introduced to called The Truth. The Truth is pretty hardcore. Really cool stuff. But what I actually really like is that Max Bemis brings up a lot of the psychological aspects that we've seen a lot of the psychology applied to the character over the last few years, you know, between Cullen Bunn and Warren Ellis and Jeff Lemire. All these different guys have played with the mind of Mark Spector, but they haven't necessarily played too much with the other minds that he has, because of course Moon Knight is all messed up in the head, and there's Mark Spector, then there's Stephen Grant, then there's Jake Lowley, and we get to see a lot of them here. And Jake in particular is a kind of terrifying man. I don't think I entirely trust him, and adds a really interesting dynamic, a really cool hitch to the storyline here. So some great stuff. Now, one book I don't have in front of me, it would be right here, is Secret Warriors. So it's the new issue of Secret Warriors, issue number 9, Matthew Rosenberg and Javier Garrón, R.B. Robson, all on art, and we actually sold out of it. That's how good the book is. We sold out of it. I have my copy, but it's, you know, packed away nicely, bagged and boarded at home. But as the fact that it's sold out is an indicator that the book is truly fantastic. Really great, really fun, really cool storyline where we get to see Mr. Sinister and Dark Beast pitted up against this little group of Inhumans. And we get to see Magic jumping in on this issue, and I think that's really cool because Magic is a really cool character. And if you guys were paying attention to the announcements, it was just announced that there's going to be a New Mutants book coming out with Magic front and center, also from our buddy Matt Rosenberg. So you know he's got bigger plans for her, and it's here in spirit, and it's at home in my short box. But it's a great book, and you should pick up Secret Warriors. We'll be getting a restock on that. We probably have it in some of our stores. We just didn't have it in Times Square, and we definitely have it online. So please do pick it up because Secret Warriors is great. Now, another book that is fantastic is Spider-Gwen, issue number 26, and I had to wear a Spider-Gwen t-shirt because I love this shirt. I just bought this shirt. It's really cool. So Jason Latour, Robbie Rodriguez doing a great job. You know, they've defined the character of Gwen Stacy for a new age with their Spider-Gwen series, and you know, come to think of it, there's going to be a day and age where people think of her as Spider-Gwen before they think about her classic storylines as well, before they think about that green trench coat and purple dress. So there's some really cool stuff here. We get to see one of my favorite recurring gags, Bodega Bandit, who I love. because he's fantastic. And of course, the storyline is Gwenum. There are some not so great thoughts running through Gwen's head lately because, of course, the Venom symbiote is not really a friendly thing, tainting her mind and shaping her actions. And this is really cool. We get to see the natural progression of things as now Shield gets involved. But what I also really like is that we get to see a follow up from the Spider Woman or Spider Women crossover that happened in the books last year. And I think that's really cool because it's important to have follow up, and I really like when things are actually brought up again. It would be easy to lock Cindy Moon into a room and never talk about her again, but they don't do that here, and I appreciate that. And I really like this book. I really like what's going on. And there's a really great tease at the end of the book as Gwen Stacy is trying to get a hold of her pal the Falcon, but it looks like she's going to have to face off against Captain America instead, which is really cool and always an interesting dynamic when Captain America is introduced to the conflict because, of course, Captain America has a quite different role in this universe. And it's really great. I really like Spider-Gwen. This book is awesome, and if you're not reading it, you're missing out because it's fun. It's really cool. And Robbie Rodriguez's art is like super awesome. So, very cool stuff. Now, another symbiotic tale unfolds in Venom, issue 158 by Mike Costa and Mark Bagley. And so this is really cool. You can see here on the page that's referencing the past storyline, we see Venom in quite the predicament as he is being crushed by a building. I like this because it's reminiscent, of course, of classic Amazing Spider-Man story where he's, in the sewers and he's got the whole pipelines and he's trying to support it. So I like seeing that homage with Venom here. But now we see that Kraven the Hunter has taken the fight to the underground and is really hunting down all these dinosaur people that Venom has been trying to save and trying to protect because, lethal protector. It's the name of the storyline, right? But it really is cool. Mike Costa has a great handle on everything, and it's Mark Bagley art. I mean, the detail in this guy's stuff is just incredible. I could just show you regular pages, just random page, But the amount of detail as he shows in the rubble of the building as he handles the scale of everything. There's a reason that this guy is such a notorious name in comics, and it's because nobody can top him. He really is great, and he draws, for my money, some of the best Venom you'll ever see. And there's some cool stuff here. We do get to see Venom leaping into action against Kraven and some other various foes. And it's really cool. If you're a fan of Venom and you're not reading Venom, you're missing out because it's like, duh, read Venom if you like Venom. But it's a really good book as well. And even if you aren't necessarily a huge Venom fan and you're just looking for a cool action story unfolding in Marvel in the classic Marvel way, this feels like exactly what I want out of my Marvel comic. It's got some world building, it's got some references to past mythology, and it also just has some killer visuals. Seriously, pick up Venom. It's really great. This has been one of my favorite books with the Marvel Legacy banner, and I'm excited to see where it goes forward. Now, another very cool book that we have, Old Man Logan, issue number 31, entering the Marvel Legacy age. Now, normally this is where I show you guys the fancy lenticular, but we were sold out of that as well because these things are flying. They are going off the shelves like crazy. What I do have is the regular cover and the Mike McCone headshot cover, so let's go with that. Let's show off some Mike McCone art here. And so this book has been really cool. If you guys haven't been reading since Ed Brisson came onto the book a few months ago, he had, not only was Logan, sulking and being sad and angsty because he's Logan, he's been facing off against like all these Hulks all summer long. And now it's not going to get any easier as the Scarlet Samurai, that's the name of the story, makes her name known in the Marvel Universe. So here we get to see a lot of build-up. Mike Deodato art on the interior and some really snappy art for my money. Really cool stuff here. We get to see Wolverine Logan going back to his Japanese roots because, of course, he famously spent quite a bit of time over in Japan. And now this is really cool because it's building up on the established lore of certain characters in his rogues gallery, if you would. So we get to see Silver Samurai popping up, which is great. And we get to see some really killer action sequences because that's the trick with Logan is it's kind of like what do you put him against because he's just gonna kind of stab anybody who's in his way. He's gonna hack, slash, cut him apart. And here we get to see that he's fighting a bunch of guys with limbs that grow back, so he's going crazy, hacking and slashing and arms flailing everywhere, flailing. But really cool storyline. We also get to see that the Hand is going to be playing a role, and you got to watch out because, of course, things are crazy whenever Wolverine goes to Japan. It's always really fun, but really not okay. And I can't spoil for you what happens in this, but we do get to see some cool stuff. We get to see Gorgon. Gorgon's awesome. If you guys haven't read The Secret Warriors run by Jonathan Hickman, you don't know how awesome Gorgon is. So please read that because that is one of my favorite Marvel books ever, and he's amazing in it. But yeah, cool book, man. Cool book. Ed Brisson, between this and Iron Fist, he's like one of my favorite writers in Marvel right now, and this is really cool. Some really great stuff here. Check it out. Staying in the land of X, we've got Jean Grey, issue number 9. Now, this is Dennis Hopeless and Victor Abanez, and this was really cool. First off, that cover, awesome, because Emma Frost wearing Jean's jacket, but it's not a jean jacket, it's Jean's jacket. There's a distinction there. But really, it's a lot of fun. David Yardin, of course, does the cover, and I love David Yardin art. But Victor Abanez on the interiors is so crazy, hyper detailed. I don't know how he does it. I don't know where he finds the time. Maybe he is a Time Lord, and maybe he's one of the time displaced X-Men, and we just didn't know it. But it's really cool here. We get to see a lot of the follow-up from last issue, where of course Jean made a maybe not super awesome decision that kind of got him put into the hospital, and so here we see Emma dealing with a ghost Jean, the psychic impression that exists of the adult Jean Grey. And, just props for following up on continuity. I love that she's wearing her new X-Men outfit from the Grant Morrison new X-Men era because that's when we last saw Jean. So it's good. It's continuity. That means that they're paying attention. And as an X-Men junkie, and I'll like totally jump down anybody's throat when they get the continuity wrong. So seeing stuff like that makes me happy. Also making me happy, Hope Summers in this book. Oh my God, because the Cable book by Dwayne Swarzynski from a few years ago, post Messiah Complex, I love that book. And it really made Hope Summers one of my favorite characters in the X-Men books. So now we get to see some really cool follow-up with her, and she's also just cool, She's such a cool, compelling character, and I want to see, where's the page? There's a, yep. Oh, I love this. This is totally not even a spoiler, but so Hope is on her way to meet up with everybody at the Jean Grey Institute, or Xavier Institute now. And so she's going, crash collision, she's got this cool space bike, and then she just literally unpacks, and all of a sudden, boom, she's got a little space rig all set up, ready to take on whatever will combat them. And I like that because that shows the preparedness of Cable, but taken to an 11. Just absolutely crazy. And this book is crazy. And I didn't even talk about the main character, Jean Grey. She's great in it. Really cool. I don't mean to make it sound like she's a passenger on her own story, but I just really love that the Jean Grey book is playing with the X-Men continuity and these characters so well. It's got Quentin Quire. It's got the Stepford Cuckoos. Great stuff. Please pick this up. And, Phoenix Resurrection starts later this month. If you don't read this, you can probably pick up Phoenix Resurrection without it. But if you want crazy build-up, read this. Hello, Jean Grey, Phoenix. Phoenix. Pick it up. It's great. So now to close us off, we've got X-Men Blue from Cullen Bunn. Some really cool stuff here. And Tony Sillis on art. And there's some cool stuff here. We get to see a bit of a downbeat. After all, Mojo Worldwide was kind of crazy. So for about 30 seconds, the X-Men get to breathe. Bloodstorm and Cyclops sharing a nice little scene on the rooftops. And we also get to see some cool training sequences with my boy Jimmy Hudson, Angel, and Polaris, which is really cool. But here we get to see that, look, these kids aren't supposed to be here. their time travel experiment's gone wrong. You know that's going to backfire at some point, right? So now we get to see that the seams of reality are starting to tear themselves apart, and the X-Men have to kind of make a decision on their future. So we'll see them here. And what's that? That's a time platform. That's right. Get ready for some time travel, of course, because the storyline's called Cross Time Capers. Yeah, but really some cool stuff here. And I'm not even, I don't even think this is a spoiler because they solicit this stuff way in advance. But like, if you don't notice solicits or anything and you don't want to be spoiled on the last page, spoiler warning. But dude, X-Men 2099 show up, and that is awesome because I have not seen the X-Men 2099 in quite some time in a proper continuity book. So it is really cool to see that they are reappearing. Of course, you guys know the X-Men 2099. They've really got some cool stuff going on, and I'm very curious to see what happens because one of the things I really like that they've done with these kids is that they've kind of shown them off to every different alternate universe possible. I mean, even right now, we've got a couple members of X-Men Blue that aren't from our world. You know, you got Jimmy Hudson, you got Bloodstorm, and now with the X-Men 2099 in the mix, you got me peaked. You got me. My curiosity is completely peaked right now. I am really excited to see what goes on with this. Cullen Bunn's been doing a really good job with these kids for a while now. I mean, it's issue 16, but you can jump into the book. If you weren't already reading, it is a new storyline. So just because it says number 16, you got to adhere to the old Stan Lee philosophy. Every comic is somebody's first. So get started on it, because what are you waiting for? So yeah, and that's the week. Now, you'll see we've got a few books in front of me. So just to do some quick fire recommendations. If you guys want interesting, compelling characters that you don't normally see, a lot of, you know, Hispanic and a lot of LGBT characters, check out America. It's a really cool series. Gabby Rivera has been doing a great job with it. If you want a book that's got your crazy classic action, you got to check out Venom, but also Darkhawk, because they're both really cool 90s characters that are now coming to the forefront of the Marvel Universe once more, slowly, ever surely, but some really cool stuff there. If you want to have fun, if you like making fun of yourself, check out U.S.Avengers. It has been one of the most fun books Marvel's been putting out all year. And check out Secret Warriors. I don't have it here, but Secret Warriors, you know, it can exist right there in that little bubble, but it's great. And I really like Secret Warriors, and very cool stuff. But honestly, Moon Knight might be my pick of the week. Don't tell the other books. They'll get jealous. But Moon Knight right here is your 189. Max Bemis is doing an amazing job, and if you know what he's written in the past, you know that he's got the creds. Pick it up, check it out. Don't miss out, because everybody's always talking about Moon Knight too, you know? He's one of those guys everybody always wants to know more about. Right here. Find out all the more you need to know. Really great stuff. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys like this, please comment. Tell us what books you are enjoying, because I want to hear about it. You know my opinion. You know what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Please watch it, comment, love it, share it, all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you guys later.